Okay, so today we're looking at the absolute fundamentals of sketching. So equipment, you're going to need two pencils. I'll explain why two in a bit more detail later, but it's basically to help lining things up. So if you've got parallel lines, it's going to be a lot easier to kind of visualize where those lines are going. Having a decent rubber is going to be useful, not that you'll use it a huge amount, but it's something certainly helpful for the construction lines. Of course, a pencil sharpener to keep your pencils nice and sharp, a fine liner that will help outline lines to make things stand out, pop off the page a little bit more, and potentially a ruler if you are getting used to getting straight lines or distances and angles. I'm going to use some highlighters just to kind of convey some of the ideas a little bit better, but you don't need anything like that. So to start with today, just getting comfortable with the piece of paper. Holding the pencil, make sure that you are nice and relaxed when you hold this pencil. Don't hold it really low down, really tight. Try and be quite loose with your grip and relaxed with your wrist and your arm, and therefore hopefully easier for you to sketch. Also, if we think about line weights, we want to try and keep things really nice and light. So line weight 1, super light, line weight 2, a little bit darker, and then a line weight 3 is going to be really, really dark. Try and stick to line weight 1 as much as you can. Imagine that your construction lines, and as you start to sketch on the page, you're hardly touching the paper. It's a lot easier if you make mistakes. So a little warm up, we will get into it really, really quickly. All we're going to be doing is doing some straight lines. Okay, so starting closer to you and pushing away from you is quite a nice way to go. Move the paper around. Don't just have it in one position. Okay, you need to be able to manipulate the page to help you rather than the paper manipulating yourself, I suppose. Once you're happy with your straight lines and you're confident moving across the page, again, be fast. Don't take it really, really slow. It will get much straighter lines if you are confident and quick with it. Think about where you're moving on the page. So when we draw some dots, this will make a little bit more sense. So I've got just random dots there. I want to move to that dot there. So I move the page, I start here and I push towards the dot. Same with this one, start and I push towards that dot. A shorter one, really easy, like so. Again, really light with my pencil. Moving the page around is definitely going to be helpful. Do as many of these as you feel that you need in order to get confident with your directions and your lines. Once you're happy with that, maybe you want to grab your ruler now and kind of test how accurate you are with distances. So let's go for like a 5 centimeter line. Okay, I don't really know how far it is, but I reckon it's probably a bit too much. That is 7 centimeters. So write it down. You wanted to go for 5, you ended up with 7. Let's go for a 3 centimeter line. It's probably too short. Oh, pretty much spot on. Okay, so 3 and 3, and maybe let's go for a slightly longer one. Let's gamble with, say, a 12 centimeter line, something like that. And that is only 10.5 centimeters. We wanted 12 and 10.5. Every time you do this, maybe pick out 3 or 4 different numbers, and it just helps you to understand distances when you have scale and proportions for your later sketches. So there's some straight lines. Now let's move on to some circles. Circles, ellipses are really, really important in all sketching. Be really loose with this, okay? I keep talking about holding the pencil nice and loose. Same with your arm. I'm moving from my shoulder, my elbow's moving. I'm not just moving from my wrist and my fingers. Okay, so you can see my whole arm is moving here. I'm hovering over the page and I slowly drop the pencil down. I've got a nice circle. Same over here. Got a nice circle. Okay, and just do a few of these. They can be different sizes, like so. This is a really good, common and easy way to warm up. Then in these circles, we can go for a smaller circle on the inside, and then again, another smaller circle, another smaller circle. Kind of helps you just to control the page and the pencil. Same over here, let's do the same a couple of times. Some of those are a little bit wonky, but that's okay. Then we can move into some ellipses potentially. So an ellipse is basically just a circle that has been squished. Okay, so what have I got over here? I've got the base of this candle. If you look at the candle from top down, it is perfectly circular. If I start to move that, it turns into an ellipse, as you can see. And we want to try and keep these ellipses as uniform as we can, but depending on the angle you look at will depend on how squished the ellipse is. Okay, but the whole point of this warm-up is just to get the hand moving and to get you a bit more confident on the page. So, hold the pencil lightly, move the paper around, be very light with your lines, move the whole arm, not just the fingers, and you'll get more and more confident with your sketching. This is a good warm-up to do. This is good for basically any sketching you're going to be doing. Once you're happy with it, you can then kind of go over and maybe go for a slightly darker line weight on some of these circles. That could be a 2 or a 3, like so, just to make a few of them stand out, and imagine that you're outlining some designs that you have gone with. So go for that one a little bit darker, maybe a few of these slightly darker. Again, really, really good to help you kind of guide on the page and understand where the pencil is. So that is just the really, really basics, nice quick warm-up, something you should be doing a lot, getting control of the pencil and the page. Be confident with it, and you will hopefully progress very quickly and be happy with the pencil and the page.